Welcome to the Destiny Global Studio. The main objective of this videos are to inspire, inform, and educate. Today's mission is to speak about life is not a game nor a chance. We spoke about the law, and the law has a lot to do with games and chances. Let's look at countries, first of all, who have legalized marijuana. Countries like Amsterdam. The country Amsterdam legalized marijuana and prostitution. So they have to live with their consequences. For new countries, they should study the consequences of Holland and see if that goes with what they want to do in their country. You cannot just impose certain immoral things on people or a nation and expect them to just go with it. This is totally insane. The reason why I'm saying this, that is almost like playing a game with people's lives. Immorality is something that destroyed Roman Empire. Rome was never defeated by any army. It was defeated by immorality. Now, when you look at such great nations, and then you look at other nations who's trying to impose this on other countries, should we accept this? Let's look at a wider field in the Caribbean, where they've legalized marijuana in Jamaica and also in St. Lucia and other places. Have they done the research? Have they done the data? Have they done the historical background of other countries and seen the consequences that it has caused? No. So these leaders who have imposed this on the people have done so without gathering facts, without doing research, and then they just make it law. How is that possible? If the people haven't got the right information, how can they make the right decision in moving forward? They cannot. So I say to all these leaders who want to make marijuana, prostitution legal, they should go and study the countries who have done it and seen the devastation and the consequences that has been left. I would like to go back to the first country that I mentioned, Holland. I've been there on many occasions. And when you walk up the street and see women parading in the windows, and then you see 5-year-old kids, 7-year-old kids looking at this as normal, then you have to ask yourself, is this normal? Well, it doesn't take a rocket science to know that this is not normal. Because when you look at Holland and look at what has happened to the young lives, they totally use marijuana, abuse it, they've used prostitution and they have abused it, and they now have one of the highest rate of mental situation in their country. Do we want that for our country? Well, I know that I don't. And where I was born in Jamaica, they've imposed this law on the people. And quite frankly, these leaders should be arrested for doing things, because as far as I'm concerned, it is illegal to be able to bring this into law without giving the people the right information to make up their minds. And on that note, I want to move to why life is not a game and why life is not a chance. Life is a very serious thing. If you live your life with a casual approach, you will end up being a casualty. You must have destiny for your life, and you must design your life in such a way that you do not look at chances. Let's look at someone who marks the lottery. What is the possibility of that person winning the lottery? Can you imagine there's people who wake up every day with the hope that they're going to win the lottery? So all their lives is spent gambling, i.e. either in the betting shop, gambling in the casinos, or gambling on the lottery, hoping, and I want to underline that word, hoping that they will win. But the chances are their lives and their years are slipping away from them, and they most likely will never win the lottery. Take someone who is wealthy and rich. If they play the lottery, they don't care whether they win or not. As a matter of fact, they don't even maybe check their tickets. If you see them in the casino, they do not go there to win. It's an entertainment for them. It's a social thing for them. But then the man who has a salary of £2,000 whatsoever, and he takes his salary and goes into the casino and loses that money, his hopes are dashed. His dreams are dashed, because most likely he's got a wife with kids. He's got a mortgage or he's got rent to pay. He's got a car on hire purchase that he's got to pay. So one can see the difference between someone who takes life as a game or who takes life as a chance. The person who's wealthy, they can afford. Because if they've got a few millions and they lose $1 million, it doesn't really matter to them. But if a person has got a few thousand and lose it, it's a very, very serious situation. And not only that, it falls back on their home and their children and their children's children. So, I would like to repeat about life as a game or a chance. It is very easy for people to get up and don't have an aim in life about their future. But those people, you have to avoid them, because if you mix with people like that, you will go in the same vein. I want to go back also to the leaders of third world country. I can remember when South Africa made homosexuality legal. Now, homosexuality has been going on from Sodom and Gomorrah. It's not a new thing. So we don't want young people to think it's fashionable. It is not fashionable. You're not going to get any trophies from it. It's been as old as Sodom and Gomorrah. But what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah? It had to be destroyed because of their immoralities. And they have to rebuild Sodom and Gomorrah. And that's why the Ten Commandments came into life. The Ten Commandments was law to make people inspect their conscience. Now that is the essence of law, to make people inspect their conscience. Without law, people would have no conscience. Can you imagine going around with no law, it would be chaos. It would be pandemonium on the streets. So law is very important for people to judge themselves by. It is not there to stop vices. It is there for you to take a deeper look into your conscience and see what is right or wrong. And when a person reaches the adult age of 18 or 21, wherever it is legal, and they do not make the right choices in life, they will have to be prepared to put up with the consequences. It is not the decision that is so important. A decision is made by the flick of a finger, but the consequences is the everlasting thing after you made such a quick decision. So my question to you is, before you ever make a decision, consider the consequences. Because people say you have to live with the decisions you make. No, I say you have to live with the consequences you make. So when you are looking at life, you must look at life objectively. You must look at life subjectively. Look deep into your conscience for decency, honesty, and to move forward with your own ambition. Anybody can do things and get money. Money is not difficult to get. Everyone was born with a brain. You take the greatest scientists, Einstein, Newton, there is nothing now that any individual, if they want to do, that they can't do. They've got the tools, they've got the brain power, they've got everything to be successful. So one doesn't have to do anything which is sinful, immoral, or to take a chance in their life. What they have to do, they have to study people's life who have made it and who have lost it and who have sinned and who have vices, and take all that historical data into perspective, and then for their own life, channel their own life into the destiny that they know or they should know after studying that data, that they should go to make a successful, fruitful life, also to contribute to their community and to the public at large. Because if you make a private decision and it endanger on a public, then the consequences are even more severe. But if you make a private and you keep it private, then it doesn't conflict in the public domain. So my question to you again is that when you're making a decision on chance and game, make your decision knowing what effect it has on the public domain, on your community domain, on your national domain. If it is a positive contribution, then all's well that ends well. Because you know you'll be leaving a legacy for others that when they're looking for data, they will find your data to follow. Just recapping on Sodom and Gomorrah. We don't want to live our lives like the people in those times. We want to look at principle over prosperity. Because principle, and I mentioned before, decency, honesty, all these qualities are what you need to live your life with destiny. You cannot live your life any other way. If you do, then it's just chance or a game. We used to have a game in Jamaica where you pick a balloon chance, and there's only 2 big balloons on the board. I remember it very clearly. Number 4 was a yellow balloon, and it was big, but not as big as the number 10 red balloon. And because I used to work in my aunt shop, I saw the people who came with their 1 pence each to pick a chance. And they all picked and picked, hoping to get the number 4 or the number 10. And the only time that somebody wins that number 4 or number 10 is when the rest of the balloons were nearly all gone. So if you want to live your life like that, then, as they say, that's fine by me. But please, don't forget to subscribe and leave your comments below.